Okay, we got it. Finally, we got it. And the button has been hit, and the episode is now recording. We are on, Gavin. Welcome to On the Fringe, everybody. This is Dave, and
And I'm Gavin.
we're going to be talking to you guys today about a potential problem that is coming from the current Iran war. And it's not set in stone, but it's definitely on the horizon, isn't it, Gavin?
It's a big supply chain related issue, and it is potentially a big, big problem for a lot of people. According to recent reports, in Europe, most countries might only have about 6 weeks of jet fuel remaining if the Strait of Hormuz continues to be closed.
Yep. That's the long and short of it, is that a lot of European countries are running short potentially on jet fuel. The
I mean, this
European
is
Commission is
also this is
saying
an interesting
everything's
one.
good. The US is
Yeah.
sending additional jet fuel to Europe. There is some dispute about whether this is actually accurate or not, but there
I
is a problem. There's a huge
There
problem
is a
for the
problem.
average consumer and the average flyer that's going to be flying to or from Europe, probably over the summer. You've got a summer
Well,
vacation
and,
planned to
and
Italy
I can
or
tell
France.
you, I
Hmm.
booked I booked my tickets back to Portugal, and I booked them before all of this popped off. So I think in January or December. And boy, am I glad I did that, because I would say that that ticket has probably doubled in price since I booked it. And it wasn't, I'll be honest, it wasn't cheap when I booked it. Um, it's really not cheap now. And every time Google Price Tracker sends me an update, the price is not really going down. So this is already an issue. I think also one of the things, Dave, and correct me if if I have my tinfoil hat on, because I
Hmm.
might. But I think one of the problems in all of this, and by the way, it's not just Europe, Asia is heavily affected by this as well. One of the issues here is that countries are just not transparent about how much jet fuel they have, what their reserves are like, and just generally what the supply chain is. So for a lot of countries, you kind of have to take governments at their word because you just don't know. There's no public tracker of how much jet fuel Germany has over the next month. And there are, by the way, very good reasons why those numbers are hard to track. But when this sort of situation comes along, yeah, people are alarmed because, right, it may only be 6 weeks. It may only be 3 weeks. It might be 3 months. We just don't really know.
Yep. And going back to what you were saying earlier, I mean, we don't have numbers on
We
what
don't.
countries have on their reserves. And that's obviously a national security issue for those countries. But you can look at countries that were dependent on oil flowing through the Strait of Hormuz
Hmm.
in the past. So largely China,
Japan,
India,
Korea.
Korea, and Japan are the four biggest players. Then you have a lot of other countries in Asia too. So these countries are going to be probably hurting the most, and they're going to be trying to get jet fuel or getting petroleum from other parts of the world if this conflict continues to not have a lot of stability. Because ultimately, if the strait is open or the strait is closed and there is a finite decision on what actually happens, countries are going to be able to make plans instead of just it's open on Friday, it's closed on Saturday, and next week it'll be open for 3 hours on Tuesday. And that might, no
I
kidding, what happens. That might be
it,
what
it
happens.
might be in some countries. I think every country is going to be different. I think every company is going to be different. I believe 2 or 3 days ago, Lufthansa shut down their city line,
Yep. Yep.
regional airline.
Yep. That's
That's
totally down. They're going to fold that
totally
into
down.
Lufthansa, I think, anyway, in the future, but that's just been shut down forever.
Probably not coming back anytime soon. I would imagine over the next month or so, Indigo will probably be shutting down more routes. Um, this is again, the scope of this thing is very wide, and the exact outcome is unclear because again, there's just no way to track it. These countries could have sourced fuel from other places. Again, America says it's bringing in jet fuel to Europe, but we don't know exactly how much. We don't know where. We don't know how long that's going to be or whether that's earmarked for military. We just don't know. So this is going to be an ongoing situation we will be monitoring. Fingers crossed, knock on wood. We hopefully won't be experiencing the effects of this anytime soon, but if and when we do, we'll let you know about it.
That we will. And one last thing. So if you are going to be
Mm,
going to Europe this summer, airlines might be switching out aircraft and they
yeah,
may be potentially going, okay, we're going to, instead of having more flights from Dallas to London, we're going to cut those flights and we're going to go just from New York or somewhere on the East Coast where it's closer. So don't be surprised if something happens and your flight gets disrupted. Talk to the airline and make sure that you have some sort of travel insurance.
because yeah, you may need it. Um,
Yeah.
you may need it like all those ships in the Strait of Hormuz.
Oh
You,
boy, those insurance
oh,
premiums.
Dave,
We're not going
Dave,
into
you,
that.
we're what? No straight answer?
Can't give
I
me a
had to
straight
drop
answer
it
on
in
this,
there,
Gavin.
man.
Why can't you
I
give me a straight answer on this, Gavin?
because I'm indecisive and I don't want to offend anyone.
Oh,
But also because it's incredibly unclear and no one will give anyone a but dum dum straight answer. We're here all week. Anyways, please like, comment, subscribe, share. If you've enjoyed this, if you like listening to this, please share it with your friends. We appreciate our On the Fringe community on Substack and elsewhere. And thank you so much for listening to this episode. Dave, let's take this away.
we're gonna take it straight away.
Oh my God. Dave